Hey lash artists, it's that time of year again, the holiday rush. It likely means you're surviving on coffee, low sleep, and a lot of clients. I want to talk about some ways to maximize your revenue during this crazy time of year. Where you want to exist on the Venn diagram is somewhere right here. You got time on one side, money on one side, and you want to exist right here. A common thread that you see on a lot of forums is there any profit in using pro fan lashes or pre-fan, depending on what you call them, because the product costs are so high? While it is true that your product costs are significantly higher using pro fan lashes, this is largely offset by a ton of other variables that need to be examined. So today I'm going to take a deeper dive into the profit you can make using handmade volume versus pro-made volume. So we've broken out into 3 currencies. Our largest audiences are in Canada, the US, and in the UK. So we have here in pink, you can see Canadian dollars, American dollars, and British pounds. So for sake of ease, I'm going to go through everything in Canadian dollars because I am Canadian, we are a Canadian company, but you can easily see the conversion there relevant to where you live. So one of the things that's important to consider is that there's a ton of variables in this, and it's very difficult to do the math on this depending on where your skill level is and how fast you are at performing your services. So you might be someone who never wastes a single lash when you're making your own fan. You might have been making your own fans for years and you're really fast and efficient at making them, or you might be brand new, or you might be intermediate. Another factor that you need to consider when doing this or watching this is how much people are charging in your area and how much you are charging for your services. We went on the lower end of prices for services in Canada, specifically in Victoria. This might be a little bit different depending on where you are. Another thing that needs to be considered is how many clients you have. So if the demand for your services are really high, it might be super beneficial to use pro-made fans versus if you don't have as many clients yet, it might actually be more beneficial to hand make your fans. So just for this exercise, we're gonna try and go in the average middle kind of range. So an intermediate lash artist who hasn't been making handmade for 10 years, but has a bit of experience. So locally, for volume lashes in Canada, it's about $180. The cost if you're using pro-mades or pre-made fans is going to be somewhere around $36 Canadian, which you can see is $26 American or 21 pounds. So the cost to do that service, if you were hand making, is going to be lower. So we've calculated that it's roughly going to be about $18 to hand make the fans yourself, or $13.50 USD, or 10 pounds. Now, of course, like I mentioned, this depends on your level. If you're new to handmade volume, you might be throwing away a lot of lashes. If you're a pro, you might not waste any. So that's gonna change a little bit, but again, we're just doing the average here. So the time on average for an intermediate lash artist to do a handmade set is going to be around 3 hours versus if you're using pro-mades or pre-mades, the time is going to be around the same amount of time it takes you to do a full set of classic. So for this exercise, we're going to say 1.5 hours versus 3 hours. So just to make the math simple, we've calculated based on a 9-hour workday, and of course this doesn't consider breaks or anything, this is 9 hours straight, how many clients you can do with handmade fans versus pro-made fans. So with pro-made fans, you'll be able to do back-to-back 6 clients a day versus 3 clients if you're doing handmade. And of course, there's going to be factors like breaks, how much you can book up. This is just for the exercise. So in scenario 1, you have your $180 cost, that's Canadian, minus your $36 of product costs. That means you're going to net $144. This doesn't include the price of your glue and everything. This is just the lashes. Times your 6 clients a day, that is an $864 Canadian day. For handmade, you have lower product costs. It's only $18, so you're looking at $180 minus your $18 of product costs. You're looking at $162 times your 3 clients in a day. You're looking at $486 in a day. You can obviously see there's a pretty large discrepancy in pay and a pretty big gap between what you net using pro-made fans versus handmade fans. So in this scenario, we've tried to favor handmade a little bit more. So in this scenario, we're saying it's $50 for product costs. So $180 for your service costs minus your $50 product costs, you're looking at $130 profit per client. And we've removed one of these clients and said that you're only doing 5 clients in this day. So 130 times 5, you're looking at $650 net, versus your handmade, we're saying that you have zero product costs in this scenario. So $180 service cost, no product costs somehow. I'm not sure how that works, but just for this exercise, you got 180 times your 3 clients, you're looking at $540 net. So even when we favor handmade in this scenario, you're still making more profit using pro-made fans. Now again, there's a lot of variables involved in this, and we're specifically talking about this crazy time of year where there's a ton of clients. I mean, I remember last year, Caitlin doing upwards of 16-hour days for all of December because the demand for lashes was so high. Now, if you're just starting your journey, that's probably not gonna be the case. But if you've been doing lashes for a few years, this is the time of year that you're going to have a lot of clients. So here we have a breakdown in both currencies of your pro-made profits versus your handmade profit. So in scenario 1, you profited 864 Canadian versus 486. Scenario 2, where we try to favor handmade, you profit 650 using pro-made and 540 using handmade. You can see this is American dollars and British pounds right here. So again, there's a ton of variables, and there are lash artists out there who are very seasoned, very experienced, and they can actually do a handmade set in the same amount of time as someone using pro-mades or pre-mades. But for the most part, this is not the case. For the most part, an intermediate lash artist is going to be able to calculate on their own during this holiday rush what would be more financially beneficial and encourage the growth of your business during this peak time of year. So it's something to think about. Play around with these numbers, plug them in yourself, see what works best for you. Look at your average clients and the cost of your products, and really consider how much money you want to make during this holiday season and where you want to live on the Venn diagram. If you have any questions for us at all, as always, reach out by Instagram or email or Facebook, whatever. We're here to help. We have a whole team behind us that really want to help you. Happy holidays.